What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel and the video of the Flysky FS i6S, the digital proportional radio control system. So let's go ahead and open up the box and check it out. And on the side of the box, there are the specifications of the remote control. Very nice packaging, and there it is, nicely tucked in. Let's take it out. So we have the remote control, and we have a CD-ROM, and we have the receiver. This is the FSIA6B receiver, and we also have the USB to micro USB cable. The CD-ROM contains the instruction manual, so let's take a look. Okay, here is the PDF file that is inside the CD-ROM. And here's a diagram of the remote control. And this thing has, I believe, 20-something pages. So table of contents there. Scroll. Okay, safety symbols and warning, intro, system features. And there is all the switches and the diagram. And there's also a couple of buttons in the back. And the USB port, and they're calling that the PS2 port. And there's a receiver overview. So it's a very nice PDF instruction manual. And all of the connectors, the indicators, and USB simulator mode instructions. And getting started, connecting the receivers, and very nice diagram of the receiver. Power on and binding, pre-checking, and how to power off. And the home screen and the fly mode, timers, function settings, reverse function, and the endpoints, and sub trim the center points, and how to set up aux channels, and the mixer if you like setting up mixers, and the fail-safe, and the brightness and sound output mode, and stick mode, 1, 2, 3, 4 modes. And you can also hit that factory reset, and how to firmware upgrade. All right, so this transmitter came with a very old firmware. It did not even have model set up, so I had to upgrade the firmware first before I can set up a model and all that. So this is what it all comes with and stuff. So appendix, and I think that's about it on the PDF. So let's go ahead and update the firmware first. All right, guys, I've already updated my unit to the latest firmware, but I'm going to do it again to show you how easy it was to do so. So what you need to do is download that firmware update,
and I'll leave a link down in the video description. Once you have downloaded that firmware update into your computer, it is going to be in the form of a zip file. So open up that zip file and extract that update tool, and what you're going to have is this update firmware fsi6s.exe file with the Flysky logo in the front. So what you want to do is open that up. It'll bring up a little window, and at this time what you want to do is plug in that provided micro USB to USB cable to your transmitter and the other end into your computer, and go ahead and power up your transmitter by holding down both of the power buttons simultaneously. And the computer just recognized something that is connected, and it's going to tell you, warning, place all switches in their up position and lower the throttle. Okay, so lowering the throttle. All right, this throttle stick is still spring loaded, so we're going to have to fix that soon. So what you want to do now is go to your settings, and as you can see, I have function and system. And before the upgrade, I believe that was just the function. So go ahead and scroll down all the way down to the bottom where you will see the firmware update. So go ahead and hit that firmware update, and it's going to tell you this will enter firmware update mode and halt other functions. Continue. So you want to hit that continue. So what's going to happen is the computer is going to recognize there is a unit plugged in. So what you do is just hit that update button, and it is as simple as that. So it's erasing the flash and it's programming the flash, and it is going pretty fast, guys. And 100% update was successful, and it disappears. And on your transmitter is going to tell you, warning, place all switches in their up position and lower the throttle once again. So do so, and you have the new firmware updated into your transmitter. That's how easy it is. So what you want to do now is just unplug your transmitter from the computer and just close the window, and you are done updating. All right, so we have the old Flysky FS-i6 transmitter on the right and the new FS-i6S transmitter on the left. Notice the design difference. The new model is a lot rounder in design. The old one is the squarish look of the past, but it still rocks. This transmitter is just about as good as this new transmitter, but this one comes in the 6 channels, and it is not upgradable, but somehow people found a way to upgrade it through the PS2 port, and now you can upgrade even this one up to the 10 channels. There are YouTube videos explaining how to do that and whatnot, but this one here, as you saw how easy and simple it was to upgrade to the latest firmware, and it is a 10 channel transmitter, so that is really cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at the buttons up on this new remote control. We have the 2 gimbals, and like I said, this gimbals are all spring loaded and it is in the neutral state, so you're gonna have to open it up and decide which one you want to use as the throttle. So I'm a mode 2, so I'm going to have to disable that spring on this gimbal here. So looking at the top, right away you see the handle. It's kind of a metallic aluminum handle, and really nice grip from the back, and you can hold on to it, you won't drop it. There's the neck strap eye ring there, and also a 1/4 inch screw. This unit did not come with one of those clips that you can put your phone on. I'm thinking maybe they're shipping it without it now. I found it kind of strange that they would give you a phone clip, but because nowadays we are just using goggles or a monitor. Would have worked with the monitor as well. I'm thinking you could modify it, but I'm not going to miss it. I'm going to be using the goggles anyway, so that is not that necessary. Now we already went through the process of holding down the two power buttons over here. So just by down pressing one, nothing will happen. You have to hold both of them simultaneously to start the transmitter. So that is really cool. Just in case you turn it off in mid-flight or something like that. So there's the PS2 port and the micro USB port right here, and we just use that to upgrade to the latest and greatest firmware. And we have some switches right on the top here. So we got the SWA, B, C, and D. This one here is a 2-level switch, and this one is a 3-level switch here. And the SWC is also a 3-position switch, and the SWD is just a 2-position switch. And we also have a couple of dial switches on the left and on the right. These are momentary switches. It goes back to the center. It's spring loaded and it goes back to the center. Maybe you can use that as a gimbal switch of some sort. So, and there's 2 more switches in the back. They call it key 1 and key 2. You can also assign those to some kind of a function as well. So if you are a thumber like me, your middle finger will come real close to that back button, that key button. So you could actually use that with your middle finger. And if you are a pincher, then I would imagine you will be using this finger here, the second to the last finger here, to activate those switches. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the functions of the remote control. All right, guys, let's take a look at the functions of the remote. So go ahead and power it up by depressing both of the power buttons simultaneously. All right, we are into the home page, and in the home page, as you can see, there's 3 buttons on the bottom. So you can scroll to the left, and this is a channel mapping, and you can check out the channels here. Channel 1 will be aileron, so there you go. Channel 2 is elevator, so up and down. And channel 3 is the throttle, AETR. So channel 4 is the rudder, and there you go. I don't have channel 5 and 6 set up, as well as if you scroll, you got up to 10 channels, guys. So we got 10 channels on this remote control, and slide on to the main menu. And we also have another menu on to the right, and that is just the value of the TX voltage. If we add the receiver, it will show up over here as well. So let's go back to the home page, and I think it would help if I remove this little plastic shield. There you go. That kept it from getting scratched up, but now we can remove it. All right, so let's hit this button, and that tells you the battery, and you are able to set the voltages, the alarm voltages and whatnot. So let's go ahead and hit that and check it out. You can go up and down on the alarm voltage and check it, and let me change the values and then check it. So it is 4.4, as well as the low volume, and you also have the RX battery set up as well, high, alarm, and low. So you can set it up right here, and if you want to go back to the default, you hit this button right here. Are you sure? Yes, and it changes to the default values right back at you. So let's get out of there. And the timer, you can set timers on this thing. So timer 1, start, reset, and set up. And you want the timer to go up, or you want the timer to go down, and the value is 5 minutes. So you can set it back to up, and you can assign a switch to start the timer, reset the timer and such. So let's go ahead and assign a switch. So reset, let's just assign switch D. Okay, so I want to reset, it'll go down. All right, so enable, let's say SWD, and let's just put it on up and let's check it out. All right, so there you go. The timer is counting down because it is set on up, and if I hit down it resets, and hit it up it restarts again. So that is cool. So let's go back in here, and if you want to change it back to the default, you hit that again and you are back to the default. So this switch does not work anymore. That is so cool. Okay, let's check out the fly mode. Fly mode is when you turn it on, you can assign a switch. For example, like angle, horizon, and acro. So later on, I'm probably going to put that on channel 6. So I'm going to go up to channel 6, hit OK, turn it on. Oops, it is on. Sorry. On, and then SW null. Okay, I'm going to put it on SWC. All right, so mode is 1. Now when I hit that switch, changes to mode 2 and mode 3, of which if you click on it, you can change the name of the mode. So you can type in angle, and then mode number 2, you can type in horizon, and mode number 3, you can type in acro if you want. So that is really cool. So once you have done that, you can put values on it, and then if you go back to the front page here, fly mode, right now I'm in acro mode, and then hit it in the middle, mode number 2, mode number 1, and so on. All right, so let's go back to the default on it and get out of that page. All right, so let's go inside the settings, and we have now function and system. So let's check out the function here, and the first one is reverse, and we have the list of all the channels, and it is in normal mode. And if you want to reverse, you can go ahead and reverse it here, in case some of your quadcopters might have aileron reversed or stuff like that, or rudder reversed, or something like that. So you can reverse the channels here. All right, so the endpoints, this is to set the endpoints of your sticks. Probably do this in your configurator so you can see exactly what numbers are. The low is 1,000, the high is 2,000, so somewhere around there you can set it up in your configurator. And sub trim, this is the midpoint of your stick. So again, you want to get into the configurator and check it out. The midpoint is set at 1500. So if the values are not at 1500, you can come in here and set it up so it's right at 1500. So let's get out of there. And then trims, at the servo display page, to adjust the right stick trim, press and hold key 1. Move the stick in the desired direction. Okay, so this is the trim, because this remote control does not have those hard trim buttons. You can come into this function and adjust your trim. So if you turn it on and then go back out, and then let's say go back to the channel mapping here, and then I want to make changes to channel 1, which is the aileron channel. So I want to, it is drifting to the right, and I want to make it drift back to the left. So what you want to do is hit that key 1, which is on the left side. This is key 1, this is key 2. So hold this key down. I'm holding it down, and I am trimming. Okay, there you see the little bar. I'm trimming towards the left and then going back towards the middle. And if you're okay, that beep, the loud beep, that's the center of the trim. So I'm gonna leave it right there. But if your quadcopter is drifting to the left and you want to make it come back to the right, then you'll go here and go to the right while holding that key 1 button in the back. Okay, right there. Okay, that's the center of the trim. All right, and that's how you will adjust the trims, because it doesn't have the hard trim buttons here. Okay, so let's go back, and that was the trims. The next one is the rate and expo. Here you can change the rates. I don't believe it goes higher than 100% rate here. Nope, but you can lower the rates down, so you can change the rate curve. Check that out. So you can go back up. Hello. Seemed like the touch screen was working better with that plastic film on there. Okay, so now you can change the expo as well. So you can give it some expo and check out the curve. Check that out. And you can go back down, and I believe you got negative expo as well. Yep, there you go. So I'm gonna put it back to 0, and by doing you want to put it back to 0, just hit this button. Are you sure? Yes, go back to default, and it's set back to 0. So that was channel 1, right? So that was AETR, so that was aileron channel. So you want to go to channel 2. Channel 2 is AETR, so that would be the elevator. So you can change the rate and expo on the elevator. And of course, we don't have a channel 3 because that would be the throttle. And then we got the channel 4, which is the rudder, AETR. Okay, so let's get out of there. And then we also have a throttle curve as well. And the throttle curve is a 5-point curve. There's the low and the high. The high is 100%. So number 1 is at 25%. Next is 50%. And 75%. So what you can do, for example, is like at 25%, you can increase it a little bit, and then 50, leave it still, and at 75%, you can kind of decrease it a little bit. Come on. So you will have a flatter hovering curve. But if you don't want to, you can just hit this again and then hit yes, and you're back down to the default. All right, so that was throttle curve. And here we are on the aux channels. I don't have any channels set up on this transmitter. It is a brand new transmitter, and this is the first time I'm going through all these stuff. So channel 5, I would think I would want to have the arming button on that one. Right now there's nothing assigned to it, so let's hit it. And the channel type, I want the SW channel, and look at that, SWA, which is the upper left channel there. So I want to, let me bring up the camera just a little bit here so you can see the switches as well. So I want to assign this one for the arming. So I'm going to leave it just like that and then get out of, oops. And I'm satisfied with that. So next one is channel 6. Channel 6, I'm probably going to use that to change my modes. So there's 2 3-way switches here, 3 position switches. This one here and this one here. This one is a 2-position switch. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to use this one here for the mode. So that will be angle mode, horizon, and acro mode. So I'm going to assign channel 6 to it. So I'm going to hit that, SWC. All right, now that channel has been assigned. So when I get back out, and let's go back to the channel mapping. So I got channel 5 and 6 now, guys. See, I got the aileron, elevator, rudder. I got the throttle here. Now I have channel 5 and then channel 6 assigned to 5 and 6. All right, so let's go back, and next is the mix. If you want to mix a couple of channels into one channel, I'm thinking maybe the guys who fly planes do this, but I have no interest in mixing channels, so I'm out of there. And then the next one is fail safe. All right, here you can set the fail safe for each of the channels, what you want it to do when the transmitter loses connection with the receiver. So let's go to channel 1. Channel 1, remember, is the aileron channel. So I want my quadcopter to come back to the center and not, rolling to the right as the last input. I want it right in the middle. So what I want to do is hit that setup. It changes to 0%, and then when you go back out, now channel 1 is set to 0%. So when it's when it loses, the aileron will be set to 0. So channel 2, which is the elevator, I want to set that one to 0 as well. So 0 at that. Channel 3, this is a throttle. So you don't want the quadcopter to be hovering or 50% of power or throttle. So what I'm going to do is, hold it all the way down and hit setup. So it is going to be at minus 100. Okay, so let's go back out. See that? It is at minus 100. So when the quadcopter loses transmission with the remote control, the throttle will drop down to minus 100. All right, and so on and so forth down the line. You can do this for the rudder as well. So set up at 0 and take it out. So 0, 0, 100, 0. So that's pretty much what I want it to do. So that is awesome. So let's get out, and I think that is the last function of the functions page. Now let's go to the systems page. The systems page, the first one is the RX bind. So if you hit that, you are binding to the remote control right now. Okay, so I don't have anything set up, so we'll do that later. Now we have the models page. Now this was absent before the firmware upgrade. So you want to get that firmware upgrade as soon as you get this transmitter, so you're not manipulating all of the settings and then you do a firmware upgrade and you lose all of your settings, because once you upgrade, all your settings are gone back down to factory settings. So let's check out. Okay guys, so we have only 5 models on this firmware. I'm not sure if there's a different firmware that has more models, but on this firmware that I've downloaded only has 5 models. Okay, so that is all of the models. Now hold on a second here. Model number 3, nope, I want to get back to model number 1. Okay, so whatever changes you make on the model, let's say for model 2, and you make all these changes into your settings of the function, you are making changes to just that model. All right, so, and you can always change models by going up and down or clicking it and going up and down on that bar as well. All right, so I'm going to exit out and I'm on model 1. All right, so let's get out of that. Now the next one is the output mode. Output mode indicates whether you want to use PWM, PPM, or S-bus or I-bus on the serial on the receiver. So that's that. And the sticks mode. Here you can change the mode of your sticks. I'm mode 2, so I want my throttle to be on number 3. If you hit like number 1 here, you got the aileron elevator, rudder, or throttle and rudder. So this will be throttle on this mode, and mode 3 is, I cannot even comprehend that. That's very confusing. So I'm going to go back to mode 2, which I am used to. So that is the sticks mode. And we also have the throttle mode. What do you want? Self-centering or non-self-centering? So I want the non-self-centering, and I will have to change the springs on the hardware inside of this gimbal to make this stay where I want it to stay. Okay, so non-self-centering. All right, so the next one is brightness and sound. So you can increase the brightness. Whoa. So you can increase the brightness by tapping on where you want it. All right, so that's pretty good at 50%. And the sound as well. I guess the sound needed to be at 100. Okay, that is the brightness and sound. Oh, factory reset. Are you sure? If you hit that yes, everything will be back to the factory reset, like all of the aux channels and stuff like that. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to say no. And then next one is that firmware update. So when you hit that, and you will need to do this and hit continue to upgrade to the firmware like I showed you earlier for that. And about. So this is the 1.11, the June 30th of the 2016 firmware upgrade. There is another one, I believe it's 2.0 or 2.2 or something like that. But for some reason, I have downloaded that firmware, but I wasn't able to install it in here. It won't show up on my computer. So I don't know. So I'm stuck with the 1.11, guys. So this is firmware 1.11. Okay, so let's get back out. And I think that's about it. So we are back to the home page, and that is all of the functions of this remote. Okay guys, I missed one. For some reason I went from the throttle mode straight to the brightness and sound and neglected the sticks adjust. And this you will need to do. It's like a calibration of your sticks. So after upgrading the firmware, you need to go in here and you need to adjust your sticks. So what they want you to do is go up, down, left and right and stuff. So you just go around to the full extent of your sticks to calibrate your sticks adjust function. And then you got the VRA and the VRB. Those are the two momentary dial switches. So go ahead and do those to the full extent, and you have calibrated your sticks. All right guys, I'm going to stop the video at this point, and what I'm going to do is make a second part to this video about the Flysky FS i6S transmitter. And what I'm going to do in that video is I'm going to bind it to this receiver that they provided with you with the transmitter. And I still cannot get over the price of this setup. It is just 47 US dollars, so check it out. I'll leave a link down below to gearbest.com. And thanks to gearbest.com for providing this transmitter for this video. So what I'm going to do is install this receiver inside of a quadcopter, power it up and bind it and fly it, as well as open up the back of this transmitter and adjust that spring tension on the throttle stick. All right, so thanks for watching guys. Please subscribe and share, and have a great day.